Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the SimRacers Asia round 10 tonight from Montreal. Tonight we got myself, Daniel Leet, Marco Bobinero, also co-commentating and running the cameras. Welcome, Marco. Great to have you on board.
And most importantly, I just noticed that my microphone was muted, so people missed basically the entirety of my intro, but luckily they heard you, so that is the important thing. So yeah, qualifying is about to end, cannot wait to get started.
Yeah, we're just keeping an eye on the qualifying at the moment. Looks like Kim Jae-min out in provisional pole at the moment. He's gone around in a 129 flat almost. That's a great time for him. Tai Kim only 4/10 of a second behind at the moment in second, and about a thousandth of a second separating Tai and Muhammad Ali for second and third. So those guys very, very close together. And we'll quickly just touch too on the points after the Silverstone race last week out. Muhammad Ali continued to extend his lead in the championship, currently sitting on 574 points. Tai Kim just in second place, 30 points behind on 548. And then Roy Koistra, who we do see him out there tonight, so great to have him there. He's currently sitting in third on 438 points. So still a good little battle for the top couple of guys, and a few drivers a little further down. The likes of Yazrin Yali, unfortunately didn't see him last week out, and then Muhammad Ibrahim not too far behind these guys as well. But qualifying just about to wrap up here, and I think for what we've seen from Mark and the guys in the series this year, it's been fantastic racing. Great to have the Formula 3 and for a few small rounds that Lotus 79 as well. But all the drivers really finding their legs now with the Formula 3 car.
Absolutely, it has been a very entertaining season with a couple of it was excitement all around. A couple of races that really stood up. For example, last week in Silverstone, the excitement was off the charts. We've had the Monza round, which was amazing, with a victory for the Lotus 79. So yeah, hopefully this is the basis for something even better coming in the next few seasons. Certainly the F3 car getting a fair love from Eracing now with two official series starting from season 4, which is due to start in 2 weeks' time. Not only the traditional series that we all know, but also the sprint series, which will become official after being a fun series for quite a bit for the past season or so. So, as per usual, the cars will line up for the rolling start for Heat 1, and I will leave you in the capable hands of Daniel Litt to go through the starting grid.
Thank you, Margo. So starting on pole tonight, we've got Kim Jae-min, 129.079. Tai Kim will start off the second spot. Muhammad Alif starting in third with Im Jawoy on fourth. Yazrin Yali out of fifth tonight. Roy Koistra in sixth. Benjamin Brook down in seventh. Mark Winter in eighth tonight. Series organiser Mark Lang starting out of ninth. Kevin Huang in 10th. Andrea Abadar in 11th. Matt Morris in 12th tonight. And Julian Honor in 13th. So a little bit of a smaller grid for the guys tonight, but all the guys out there should be putting in some pretty good laps, and the racing going to be very, very close. Race start tonight. The guys will find their way down on the back of the Casino Straight, so it's only a short pace lap for us to get underway, but I'm sure we're going to see the field really start to shrink down as they make their way through those final couple of corners onto the chicane.
Absolutely, as we are waiting for the pace car to start its traditional, like you said, very, very short pace lap. As we are waiting for a couple of drivers to get onto their starting position. Waiting for them. We will wait 20 seconds more and then the pace lap will start regardless. So Of course, it's always tricky when you have a rolling start and the final corner of the racetrack is a chicane. We've seen it last week as well in Silverstone. Even tighter it is going to be this week because of the nature of, like we said earlier, of the chicanes. And here we go, the pace car is rolling. And of course, not to forget the very, very high curbs that this track has, and that is because when this track was scanned by Eracing, it was before a NASCAR event, and what was then called the Nationwide Series, and they had those big, big curves in place, and those were scanned, so that's why we have them. And open wheelers don't really like them, and here we go.
Yeah, it looks like the guys just forming up. Kim slowing everyone down just so they don't get past that safety car, and looks like green lights are out. Kim getting away quite nicely. It looks like Joyim managing to drop back into 4th place there, but everyone else seeming to get through pretty well. We're looking down at the back of the grid here. Mark Winters finding his way through as well, but yeah, up front, Kim Jamin really starting to open up a little bit of an advantage, up to 3/4 of a second now, and a couple of good battles starting to really form up.
Little bit of contact there between Muhammad Alif and Kim Jook, and now the driver from South Korea is really, really slow in creating a gaggle of cars behind him. Koistra trying to profit from that, and they touch, and Koistra sadly is upside down, straight into the wall, and that is certainly not the way he wanted to start his race.
No, not at all. That'll really be detriment for his race. Obviously, there is a second race tonight, which we will touch on a little bit later, but that's going to set him up for a pretty hard run back through the field tonight. We've got, who's this, Mark Winner up on screen, a change of livery for him tonight, working on a move down the inside of Yazrin Yali, getting it done through the hairpin turn 10, and the guys now setting off for their first time up Casino Straight at full speed. And Mark, looking to be just a touch behind here at the moment. Yazrin Yali got a really good straight line speed in his Formula 3 car tonight, but breaking down into the final chicane going to be all important for both these guys.
Yeah, absolutely, as we are into the chicane, like you said, and very clean running from everyone. The only really big loser was Koistra, as look at that, because Benjamin Brook is also trying to close the gap between himself, Jolly, and Winter, as back at the front you see Kim Joo-min and Tai Kim. They are both looking to run away from the rest of the field.
Absolutely, and both drivers setting up some really good times at the moment. Just looking at last time by for the first flying lap, and Kim Jermaine out there 134.3, Tai Kim 135.3.
Oh,
so
massive hit. Mark Lang and Jaisrin Jali having contact there. I think Mark. Sorry. Okay, that was, yeah, Mark Winter making a mistake, not Mark Lang, sorry. There we go. And nowhere to go for Jaisrin Jali, sadly, there. And some big damage to both cars. Sorry, Daniel, but that was unexpected, to say the least.
Absolutely, it looked like Mark getting a bit of a rear lockup on the way into the turn 6 chicane there, and really leaving Yazrin Yali nowhere to go, as you say. Both cars getting a bit of damage, able to still continue, which is ideal, and we'll keep an eye to see how they fare for the remainder of the race. Mark Lang putting a move on teammate Kevin Huang down into the final corner here, so that's a great job getting that move done very early, but up on the rev limiter quite a long way before that corner there, so that could be a bit interesting, and maybe see his progress go a little slower. Ben Brook under all sorts of fire from Matt Morris at the moment, down in through turns 1 and 2, and these two very, very close together. Good to see Matt having a good strong run tonight. He's had a few issues along the series, adapting from the GTs, which we know he's really good at, to these open wheelers, but really starting to come strong at this back end of the championship.
Absolutely, as we are looking from the back of Brooks' car, looking at Morris and Jolly as they are making their way through the middle portion of the racetrack, as we have an issue back at the front. It's the two race leaders around, and Muhammad Alif takes the lead. What the hell happened there?
Yeah, that's an interesting one. We'll have to try and get a replay there, which we got up on screen now. Kim Jamin coming through. Looks to have caught the grass a little bit, and then subsequently getting that curb, and Tai Kim nowhere
almost.
to go there, but great for Alif being able to get through defensively.
He almost made it through, but to no avail. Let's see another replay, maybe from the perspective of the new race leader, and see basically a case of Christmas come early, because you will see he sees one car around there, and then he sees another, and he's able to go through with ease and a lot of calm. And certainly, by the way he has been dominant this season, he doesn't need Muhammad Alif any kind of gift, from his opponents.
Absolutely not. We know how strong he's been, especially through the middle part and earlier on in this championship, and doing a very good job. Looks to be spawning a new livery on that car for him as well tonight. Yep. Ben Brook up a couple of spots from his starting spot, finds himself in 6th right now, and that's again a 4th position since the start of this race, which we're almost coming up onto halfway in race 1. So the guys really starting to work their way through these laps now. Closest battle at the moment, still this battle ongoing with Matt Morris and Yazrin Yali. These guys only 0.8 of a second behind each other there, and Yali's going to get himself a nice toe off the exit here of the hairpin, and we see him close up a little bit with the concertina effect under the braking there, and hopefully he's got a little bit more wing than what we saw from Mark Lang with the gearing there, and able to get up a little bit closer down this long straight.
See Morris trying to weave just a bit, just to get slipstream effect reduced, but great run from Jali as he goes through the final chicane and a so-called Wall of Champions, as he's getting closer and closer to his opponent. Everyone putting in a green lap, so personal best for basically everyone in the top 8 bar Mark Lang. And Jali is really, really close to Morris right now.
Absolutely, and last time by for Yali, he took half a second off Morris there, so that's a huge gain, and no doubt aided by that draft, but his car working fantastically well for him. We'll see how he goes through the back section of the course. He's going to start applying a lot of pressure to Matt Morris, who we know can defend extremely well, but Yali, with that extra pace, going to be looking for any opportunity that he can get right now.
Jali waiting, not forcing the issue. He might go for a move here at the hairpin or at the final chicane. And to jump in that 4th place podium seems to be very, very tough. Here we go at the hairpin. No, not this time around for the number 81 car. Morris stays in front, but for how long? Because another good run for Jali here could be decisive, even though it seems like Morris will be able to keep a good gap as they enter the chicane. And yes, nothing to... Oh, I spoke too soon, because fantastic exit from Jali, who now might even fancy his chances at the very first corner.
Absolutely, and that was set up a little bit by Matt Morris, not quite getting that nose tucking in through the first part of that chicane there either, and really slowed him up through the midpoint, which gave Yali the run there. Not able to do anything with it though, which is handy for Matt. He's able to maintain that 4th position at the moment on the road, but yeah, Yali really starting to apply the pressure all over him. Just keeping an eye on the laps between both of these drivers here. Last time, only 0.3 of a second difference between them, so yeah, still in Yali's favour at the moment, and we'll watch to see what he can do as they make their way up to the turn 8-9 complex here. We'll see what kind of a run Yali can get.
Oh, around he goes.
Yeah, pushed a little too hard, caught that inside curb there and spun him around, so we'll see where he rejoins. To see Mark Lang and Kevin Huang going past him on the inside. Yeah, it's a little bit of an unfortunate mistake there. Just catching that little bit too much, the inside curb there, trying to close up on Matt. Unfortunately, kept it off the wall, which is a great thing, able to come back, but he now finds himself down in the 8th position. So he's lost 4 spots as a result of that little spin there. And we've got Kim Jimin coming back up the field after his earlier issues. And that's a great pass there, down in through the final chicane, up out of the wall of champions, just missing that tyre barrier. And that'll promote Kim, who was previous race leader, the early part of this race, up into 8th spot, and that's the cutoff of really where you want to be for race 2 when you do get the reverse grid, and that could pay dividends for him a little bit later on.
Absolutely, as we have the race leader all on his own, 3.5 seconds in front of Tae Kim there, as we still have this fight, because now here we go, Kim going past Kevin Wang, who now will be, I think, in the clutches of Jason Jolly, and yes, there we go. Oh, and he's into the wall there. Kevin Wang, it clipped the wall on the right side, and he's also crabbing a little bit, so definitely not what he wanted to do. His car, yeah, not in a good position, and Im Jo-hook is around as well.
Yeah, it looks like all the guys have starting to struggle a little bit there. So Kim Jong-hook dropping down, that promotes Matt Morris up into 3rd spot. Im dropping down into the 5th position at the moment. So we'll see if we can get a bit of a replay on that. And it's just under pressure, under acceleration, and the back end stepping around. So able to keep it off the wall on the inside there and get back underway. But we'll see what he can do. Kim Jamin up at the moment, trying to get past him now, and that's a. Sorry, that was Mark Lang that he was just getting past there, so that's a good pass for him. And Yasrin Yali likewise now working on the back of Mark Lang into turn 1.
Yes, here we go with another attempt from Jolly on Lang to veterans of the series. By the way, Tae Kim, fastest lap of the race this time around. He took 1 second, 0.3 on Muhammad Alif. Let's see, maybe 2.6 seconds is the gap, so who knows if he can keep on this great pace, if we could have a fight for the race win come the end of the race. Jolly, the mistake from Lang, Jolly has to slow down in order to not collect his rival there, and so that mistake for the time being will not cost Mark Lang a lot, but now I think that's when the move will be made, and here we go, Jason Jolly up to P7.
And watching the way Mark was going there, I wouldn't be surprised if he actually lifted just to allow Yali to get through a little bit easier on him there. We've got Ben Brook with Im Jo-hook up on the back there of his car. So these guys are scrapping at the moment over 4th and 5th place on the road. Ben getting a great run out. Finds himself only a second and a half down now behind Matt Morris, who's just up ahead in the top of frame in 3rd spot. But him really starting to apply a bit of pressure on the back of Ben. We did see too quickly that Kevin Huang came down the lane for his stop earlier after he had contact with that wall as well. So he's back out in the race tonight.
As you can see, the gap between the first 2 guys, as I think that Im Jo-hook just clipped the wall there, and it has been a constant stream of gains for Tae Kim in 2nd place, but not in this last lap, where he had basically an identical lap to Muhammad Alif, so the gap remains the same with a little bit less than 7 minutes to go, and the 2 drivers at the front are really close. But now Im Jo-hook, despite clipping the wall there with a good run, coming out of the 2nd chicane, trying to pass Benjamin Brook, as Kim Joo-min is around there.
Yeah, so Ben didn't quite get the run out of turn 9 up against the wall there, and that really opened the door for Im Jo-hook to get through, and that was a great move for him there. Kim Joo-min having his spin, not really what he wants to see, but Ben Brook back down the inside. That's a great defense, great forceful move there.
Here we go. He's around.
Yeah, I'm not sure if there was any wheel-to-wheel contact on the entry there. We'll have to see if we can potentially get a replay of that one. But yeah, he's lost a spot there, sitting down now.
So he completes the pass. Some contact here, morphing into each other. I don't know how much that affected Benjamin in his braking, but then he jumped hard on the inside curb and spun. By the way, at the front of the field, the gap is now down to 2 seconds, 1.8 to be precise. Another fantastic lap from Thai Kim in second place, and he's really hunting down Muhammad Alif. So I tell you what, Daniel, we might have a fight on our hands for the first position.
Absolutely, both these drivers going fantastically well tonight, and I mean Thai Kim's come on extremely long, a long way since the start of this championship, and we saw very early on Alif getting right out there early on. But yeah, Thai really starting to come to grips with this Formula 3, gets the run out to the wall of champions, almost clipping that outside wall there, and pace for the car as he went through Sector 2, the quickest out of both of these drivers. He was a second faster last time by to Muhammad Alif, so the street circuit's really working well for Thai tonight.
It really does, and Jasmine Jolly having some bigger issues now, dropping several places and now getting passed by Mark Winter. So this will be another move done, but let's focus on this fight because the gap now you can see down to 1 second.
And Thai set himself another faster sector for Sector 2 last time by a 27.10 versus 27.6, so really quick through there, but has lost a lot of pace as the guys are working their way out of turn 9 there, so I'm not sure whether he misjudged that or not, but Thai's a long way back now. His gap extended out to nearly 3 seconds now.
Let's see if he got a slowdown there, cutting too much. Oh no, he made a mistake. We didn't catch that straight away from the rear view camera of Muhammad Alif, but a reprieve for Alif because that certainly helped him. And another mistake for Im Jo-hook as Benjamin Brook goes past him. Let's see what happened. Ah, he's there. Yeah. Oh, that was too close for comfort. But certainly we are seeing a lot of mistakes, like we talked about earlier, and you know, it's going to be even harder in race 2 for these guys because the race will be even longer than this one. And what we are seeing mistakes basically from 5th, 10th minute onwards. The tires really don't like being stressed for that long on this particular racetrack with this temperature, and I don't think we're going to get a much different kind of environment in the second race.
No, I wouldn't expect there'll be much change as far as weather's concerned tonight, but maybe with that small bit of a gap, once the guys do get across the line, they may be able to make a small little change to those cars and help them get through. But they're a little uncommon to what we've seen traditionally through the year with the guys spinning out of some of the slower corners there. But one of the key points you brought up earlier on at the start here was with the extra height of these curbs, and we're seeing it tonight. The guys, as they touch them, the cars are really starting to fall over each other. And Kim Jamin getting up past Mark Lang. That's a great move up through turns 6 and 7, sorry. And he's pushing back on after his little spin there.
So race leader is at the start finish line, so I think that will force 2 more laps, considering they are lapping in the 130s. So we might have this one and one more, and who knows, we have seen during the season drivers be very aggressive with their fueling strategies, and I tell you what, Kim is coming back, and maybe the fact that they are going to have 2 laps instead of 1 might give Kim another chance at the race lead.
Yeah, if he's able to maintain this pace that he's been doing and not get any of those little mistakes and bobbles that he's had in the last couple of laps, he certainly should be able to close that gap down. And sector times that he's putting through already are still quicker and in his favour to what we're seeing from Alif. But we know how solid Alif has been through this season. He's been able to maintain these sort of tight pressure areas. He doesn't make a lot of errors out on track, and that's obviously what's helping him out here at the moment with not only the lead of the championship but also the lead of the second to last race. So he's doing a fantastic job tonight. They've got a little bit of lap traffic to contend with as well, which might come into play, and that looks to be Kevin Huang that they're going past now. So Kevin just stepping to the side. That's a smart move from him to get out of this little battle.
And there we go then. White flag is in the air. Final lap of this first race. 1.2 seconds between the first two drivers. Lap times coming through 130.3, 130.0 only. 0.3 of a second gained by Taekim on this last lap. We say only because, like we said, he has been gaining a lot as of late, but not nearly enough in this lap, as we have a decent number of cars here coming close at the hairpin. Winter, Lang, Jolly as well, and Kim out of fuel possibly because he is losing a lot of time.
Yeah, that gap really started to extend out. I don't think he's had a spin or anything like that, but I dare say, as you mentioned, probably saving a little bit of fuel, because the first two sectors, actually he lost a lot of time in sector 1 there. He was two seconds slower than what Alif done. So could have had a little mistake there, we're not too sure, but yeah, put a bit of an end on his run to take the race win tonight. We'll duck up to Muhammad Alif here, running down the final stretch. Kim Jung-wook, and who's he got a battle with? Kim Jamin, teammates going at it to get a final position change right at the end of this race. So great to see the teammates still battling on. But we're up to Muhammad Alif coming through the final time for race 1 through the chicane, gets there and takes race 1. Very convincing win for him tonight, especially after those little bit of issues that promoted him up to the start. But great result for him. Tai Kim second, and looks to be Matt Morris coming home in third. So great result for those guys. But this little battle between Im Jae-hook and Kim Jae-main still going on as the guys both working their way out of the hairpin.
Nice move from the number 9 car, and he is looking at a top 5 finish, but no, maybe not, because here we go once again side by side. Good run from Kim Joo-min, and he makes the pass side by side into the final chicane.
Yeah, both teammates giving enough room to get them both through there. Not the ideal line to try and squeeze two cars down, but great result for them to finally push their way over the line. A little bit further back, we've got Yazrin Yali and Mark Lang coming over, and our final driver getting over the line tonight will be Roy Krustra, who we saw have that damage lap 1, so great that he was able to get the car repaired and back out, and he'll now turn his sights on to race 2 and see what he's able to put forward.
Exactly. Straight away we will move on to the second race, 25 minutes in length, and the top 8 will be reversed. So like we say many times this season, there will be basically no rest period in between the two races. Just as you can see, the drivers straight away ready to get it going, and here we go with the starting grid for race 2.
So starting off race 2, reverse grid will be Mark Lang. Alongside him will be Mark Winter. Kim Jae-main starting in 3rd, with Im Jae-hook in 4th position. Ben Brook will start out of 5th. Matt Morris in 6th. Tai Kim will start 7th. Race 1 winner Muhammad Alif will reverse down to 8th position tonight. And then we'll have Yazrin Ali in 9th, Roy Krustra in 10. And the final competitor out there tonight will be Kevin Huang, starting out of 11th. So drivers all getting back up underway now. We'll kick off here momentarily. But while we do that, what are your thoughts of the guys coming through from the back? We know how quick Tai and Muhammad have been. Marco, how do you think they're going to find this battle now, getting through, especially on the twisty circuits here at Montreal?
Yeah, exactly. You said it right. They need to be careful of the twisty, tight corners here because they have the pace, but it's not going to be easy for them. So, if the big if, like we said many times, is to stay out of trouble, they know how to do it. Let's see. You know, this being the final race of the season, maybe there will be some more, some bit less caution and more excitement. Oh dearie me! We have a pile-up at the very beginning of the race.
Yeah, we'll have to see what happened there. I missed that entirely, but that's not ideal for Mark Lang, and he's dropped well down the order. It has promoted Mark Winter up to take the lead as the guys cross the line, so great for him. Im Jae-hook up into second, and we got Mark Lang, who fell down to 8th position after that awkward start there. He's got Ben Brook alongside him, and then right behind then you got Roy Kusha and Yazrin Yali. So we'll wait for this to settle down. We'll try and get a replay of that. It looks like Kim Jamin in some trouble as well, and he's exited the race.
So let's get a replay from high above. You see Mark Lang getting hit by his teammate, then Brooks get in, and that was Morris also. At a certain, I think there will be also a black flag bonanza, because when the race leader is parked there at the very beginning of the race, the system is certainly, as we have around goes Im Jae-hook, by Mark Winter at the hairpin. The system is not very smart, and it's very tough to program it as such, to recognize that there has been some drama to the race leader. So we'll see if there will be some black flags dished out by the iRacing system.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll have to see how that comes. Obviously, the stewards will review that post-race as well, so we'll see what happens there. But we've got Roy Krusher coming down the inside here of, who's that? Ben Brook. So that's a nice move. Ben got that little bit of damage on the front wing after the early contact here, but Mark Lang and Yazrin Yali now lining up for a shot past Ben down in.
So far, yeah, I think the only cars in the pits are Tai Kim and Kim Joo-min. I think Tai Kim is in for a penalty, because he basically, remember, he cut the entirety of the chicane. Yeah, just a stop and go. You see, he parked and then start again, so he was penalized.
Yeah, and then we saw Kim Joo-min just before we cut to the replay. He found himself in the wall there and has unfortunately exited from the race tonight. So that's not ideal for him, but that will leave 10 cars back out on track. Looks like Muhammad Alif, probably the big winner out of all that little bit of carnage on the start there, getting up into second place now. So he's doing well. We've got up the replay here. Kim Joo-min going around just on the exit at turn 4 there and into the wall. And who was that he took with him? Was that Tai Kim, I think?
So he went in for a fast repair then, because yeah, certainly that was big damage to his car.
Yeah, so that's not the best. Tai Kim now, we're just keeping on where he is. He's 26 seconds behind Mark Lang, but obviously with the pace that we saw from him early on, he should be pretty good. Ben Brook down the lane for looks to be his fast repair as well. Turning our attention back up front, Mark Winter now starting to come under a bit of attack and pressure from Muhammad Alif. So Alif up from starting in the 8th spot tonight, up into second outright, and only one car to go before he makes his way through and potentially on for what could be a repeat of wins tonight here for races 1 and 2. Not close enough to get a move down the inside of turn 8 there, but I wouldn't be surprised if we don't see something in the next lap or two from Muhammad here trying to get past.
Absolutely, as of course, just 4 minutes into this 25-minute second race. Of course, don't forget, later today at 6 GMT, you are going to see the Euro V8s. They will be back for another round. of their fantastic championship. And tomorrow the Aussie Mixed and Fixed Development Series will be back as well, but let's focus on this right now because Mark Winter certainly looking good in the first race until that accident. Muhammad Alif was gifted the lead by another accident that happened later down the road and won the race. And I was looking forward to his fight between himself and Tai Kim, but Kim was involved in that crash in the first lap. So, as by the way, he's making the way past Benjamin Brook now. So, once again, either by luck or by chance or by talent, and I think it's this later one. It's Muhammad Alif that finds himself in a very good position for the race win, and for Mark Winter a tough task in front of him if he wants to hold on one of the quickest driver all season long for the next 20 minutes or so.
Absolutely, you already see Mark going very defensive down to the final hairpin there, able to get a nice bit of drive out though, which is really helping him here. So he's really controlling the options down into that final corner, turn 10, and not sure at the moment. Alif probably just setting up moves, looking for where he's going to be able to be stronger than Mark. You see here Mark trying to get into his mind that he's planning to go that defensive route. Both drivers playing really good mind games against each other here, and this battle continuing on. And just behind that too, Matt Morris and Im Jae-hook going on and scrapping over third and fourth at the moment as well. So we've got a couple of really good battles starting to form up. I'm still keeping an eye on where Tai Kim is after his stop.
Yes, Mark Lang goes around, stopping his car just before hitting the wall of champions, so all good there, but of course losing a little bit of ground, which is of course unavoidable in these cases, but better that and smashing into the wall, as Alif looks very close. He has all the time in the world, doesn't want to risk a move, he knows he has the pace. Here we go. Defending very hard, like you said earlier, is Winter there, and of course he will have to compromise his exit there, and let's see Alif with another fantastic run.
Yeah, Alif really going down very late on the brakes there. It looks like Mark able to maintain that position, and these guys are setting up what is a fantastic battle for this race too. 7.5 minutes down at the moment. Muhammad with a massive toe, forced to go down the outside route. I'm not sure he's going to be able to pull this one up, but we will stick with this battle. A great job there from Mark Winter, able to resist that attack, but Muhammad Alif looking at every opportunity right now, thinking of a move down into turn 1, and he's got the car placement in there, not quite able to go around the outside on the exit at turn 2, but he's trying absolutely every corner.
Yeah, let's say that Winter is making his car as big as he can and defending very, very nicely within the lows, which is what we like to see. So Alif, despite being very quick, he cannot find his way through, and the more they fight, the more Morris and him will come, and maybe now Winter knows this, he will have the inside for this next chicane.
Yeah, Mark pushing over a little bit and still within the
he's around.
Yeah, a little bit of extra brake in the back there, unfortunately, did cause him to go around. I also thought Muhammad Alif had a little bit of sideways action on his car.
I think we'll see that right now. I think you are right. Let's see.
Yeah, smart awareness there to be able to let the other guys get through it. Looking at Alif, I actually think he might have run a touch wide and maybe caught that curb, so he was lucky not to have gone.
He was very smart to lift when he realized he was going to go very, very deep there, and those curbs are unforgiving. He lifted and was able to save his car because if you push down the gas pedal when you are running hard on those curbs, especially in these small open wheelers. That's more often than not a recipe for disaster. And so Alif back in the lead and looking to make it a sweep of the proceedings tonight, as we are 15 minutes away from the conclusion of this season, and Jaiserin Jali is trying to get past Roy Koistra, who has had a very nice season, all things considered, and always there or thereabouts, fighting for top 5 positions and podiums. Now Jiley, of course, a driver with immense experience, even though in different cars, but always very competitive, looking to make the move. As Im Joke is sitting there in the middle of the racing line with a plum of smoke, which I suspect is due to a spin. And this all of a sudden becomes the fight for the podium.
Yes, we'll check out what happened there to Kim Jae-min. I'm pretty certain, as you say, he did touch the wall there and go around, so that's not ideal in that scenario there. But as you say, it has promoted Koistra up into the 3rd spot, and he's got himself a lot of work here. Yali going, or trying to throw the nose out there and maybe go for a move, but here we are, Im Jae-hook up on screen at the moment.
You see, he went on the curb, kept the foot down, whilst Alif, of course, didn't, and that is the difference, basically. He put the power down, the car bouncing hard on those big curbs, and around he went.
Yeah, and realistically, the open wheelers do not like the curbs around here. The low curbs, like you see the guys coming through now, are more than fine, but once you get up on those bigger sausage curbs, absolutely unsettles the balance of the car and does not want to get it across the line, unlike what you'd see in, say, the V8 supercar or a GT car, which are very compliant over those bumps. The stiffly sprung Formula 3 cars not able to get around there.
"12 minutes almost gone, as we have Im Joke again having issues, not really liking today's racetrack, and now falling down to 6th place, as we keep focusing on this battle between Koistra and Jali, also because they are both lapping quicker than Matt Morris in 3rd place. Look how much Koistra is weaving, testing the rules, basically, you know, the elasticity of the rulebook, as he's moving left and right. Muhammad Alif 29.5, fastest lap of the race, but they are once again both closing in on Matt Morris, and Jali looks like he is the quickest of this bunch.
Yeah, Yali doing a really good job there, just sitting in behind and not really overusing the car at the moment. He's really trying to get into the blind space of Roy Koistra, and you see it down the back straight, down the Casino Straight, sorry, and you know, with Koistra going very wide, trying to maybe just get into his mind. He doesn't want to let him pass, or it's not going to be an easy move. But as you say, Yali, one of the quickest one in this little group, and both himself and Koistra now closing down on Matt Morris for 2nd place. The gap, Koistra to Morris, down to 0.7 of a second, so nothing in it really between these guys. And by the end of this lap, you're going to be able to throw a blanket over all 3 of them. They're going to be less than a second separating this top 2nd, 3rd, and 4th position.
Only 2 drivers lapping in the 29th, of course, the race leader Muhammad Alif, and the other one is Tai Kim, but sadly he's only down in P7. What a fight that could have been after the fantastic back and forth on the timing sheets, of course, of race 1. Here we go, Jali on the inside of Koistra in the final chicane. He is already side by side. This is going to be very narrow. Great defending there from Koistra, and Jali doesn't force the issue. Very smart move, but he will have to wait a few, well, at least a few corners more if he wants to make that move and get into the 3rd position, because now until basically the next section of the track, you cannot go for a move unless you are very crazy, like for example to try to make a move around here, which is rarely going to work. And even in this next chicane, You need a good run to make the pass, and Jolly doesn't have that.
No, and the only time you're really going to get those good runs is if you see Kreuster on the back of Morris there. If those two are battling and slowing each other down, Yali could potentially make that move. But while you've got this gap of around half a second between all three drivers at the moment, it's not really allowing for it. There is a little bit of an accordion effect starting to close up now with Kreuster on Morris through the braking there of turn 9. And they've actually been able to extend just a small gap over Yazri and Yali at the moment. But look for these guys to close down, and that banding effect will really start to take effect. Matt Morris with a little bit of wheel spin on the exit of turn 10, able to recover that, and he's now going to have a mirror full of Roy Kuistra here, and it's going to be interesting to see what he does, whether he goes defensive or he allows these guys to attempt a pass down on him.
Gotta be careful not to spin. We've seen many spins tonight. By putting the power down too early, coming out of the corners. Great run from Kuistra, and now he's on the offensive.
Yeah, that's a positional change there. Got the car down far enough, and Morris on the inside, or the outside of turn 1, which put him up the inside there, able to retain that position. But the move here for Kreuster,
oh, he
down
sends
the inside
it!
And he spin.
Too much aggressiveness there from Ro Kuistra, and that didn't work in the end. Let's see. We were watching from the back of Morris's car. You can see he was too aggressive there. No way you can hold the car there. We saw the speed differential when they came to the braking area. Once again, while looking back from Matt Morris's car, we could really appreciate the difference in pace, and Kuistra broke too late, and now he hit the wall at the other chicane, the next chicane, and so... Oh, and Mark Winter is into the fence with massive damage to his car.
Yeah, we'll have to catch an eye on what happened to Winters there, Ty Kim getting past. So I would expect this curb down in 8 and 9 to again be the... Actually, you get some contact there. Who was that through? I think that might have been maybe Kevin Huang or Im Jae-hook there.
Yep.
Yeah, getting in the back of him and spinning the car. So that's not a great result there for Mark. He will be able to get the car back, but he does have a lot of damage on the front end. So look for him to be jumping into the pit lane there. Im Jae-hook likewise in the lane at the moment, but the battle with second and third, Matt Morris, Yazrin Yaldi, now really starting to heat up. Last time by, both drivers were only 0.04 of a second different between each other. So absolutely nothing in it between these guys, but the surprise package of the night after that earlier pit stop damage, Ty Kim coming back up the field in 4th, just set the fastest lap last time by, so he's getting up there, and if time permitting, and we've got just on 8 minutes still to go, he might be able to bridge that gap. Looking at the pace, he's a second quicker than what we're getting from Yazrin Yali, so
oh, they're both off, and Jali is around. And Morris, I think, got a hit in the rear. So, well, the surprise and excitement keep on coming. Let's take a look at that. Yes, there's some contact, and then under braking, Jali loses the car. Morris was lucky, just went wide, but he might have some rear wing damage. And going back to what you were saying, this might really help this man, take him, who now has a squeaky clean car after his fast repair, and pushing very hard, maybe with a chance now of catching the 2 wounded cars in front of him.
Absolutely. I mean, that gap as a result of the spin from Yali there is closed down to 7 seconds. So that's a very big swing in the favour of Tai Kim, who'll be looking to get up onto the podium. Would not be surprised if we do see him up there, but that really has released the pressure off Matt Morris here. While he is a little bit slower, and he did take a hit in the last time by for his lap, down some 3 seconds to what his best time is of the night so far. He has got himself now a 5-second gap over Yazrin Yali, so a little bit of time for him to try and extend, and potentially we'll see this fight close back up at the back end. And I'd be looking to see that, you know, Yazrin also brings Ty along with him, and we turn this into a 4-way fight over second spot.
Yeah, I mean, it's a bit of a pity that we don't have a good look at the steering wheel, even from the roll bar, as you can see. You don't really see the steering wheel to see if the car is having some issues or not. Matt Morris' car doesn't seem to be too straight, at least from my perspective, but I might be completely wrong, of course. By the way, 5 minutes left in this race. As you can see right now, Muhammad Alif crossing the start-finish line with his new record for the race, 29.5, and he is getting closer and closer to lapping the P8 driver Rukoistra. As for the time being, we don't have any fight on the racetrack, but we'll have to keep an eye, especially on this 777 machine of Take Him, who could have won race 1 and sadly had those issues. Every time he got close to Muhammad Alif, he had an issue, a mistake, and so he couldn't go for that move. And in this second race, of course, he has been forced to run from the very beginning after crashing in the first lap to try to play catch up to the other drivers. Now he is looking at a 4th place finish, but waiting for maybe a mistake from Jolly or Morris to jump on that podium.
Absolutely, and I think looking at how he's going with the car speed at the moment, absolutely have no doubt that Ty will be thereabouts. Even if it's the 3rd position, may potentially get that up into 2nd spot, which if he could would be a fantastic result. But just for a bit of viewer reference on positional placements at the moment, we've got Matt Morris going through turn 10 at the hairpin, Yasmin Yali on the exit there now, and Tai Kim approaching turn 10. So we're less than a couple of 100 meters realistically from all of these guys, and I've seen on a couple of occasions there, as you see Yali at the top of the screen now, we do see all 3 cars up in the frame. So not a lot of work there for him to do. Muhammad Alif setting another fastest time through 1:29.4, so his car's still working fantastically well. But yeah, as you see, we're cycling through those guys there. Tai Kim down at the Wall of Champions, back on it again, and be interested to see what his lap time is. As he's got that little bit better visual representation, and he goes through in a 29.68, so only 0.04 of a second slower than his outright fastest at the moment. His car working very, very nicely right now.
Absolutely, as we are heading, I think, into the penultimate lap of this race. Muhammad Alif certainly didn't need any help today. His opponents gave it to him, and he is flying towards a clean sweep of the proceedings. Matt Morris with a solid race in 2nd, carrying a wounded car home, the same that Jaisrin Jali is doing after a very eventful 2nd race. Taikim, like we said earlier, making a fantastic comeback from the pit lane, basically at the end of the first lap up to 4th, but with a big, what if, because he had the pace to win both in race 1 and in race 2. Benjamin Brook will try to finish in 5th. He's in front of Kevin Huang, 6th place for him. He's in front of another driver that could have had such a better day, Mark Winter, who is sitting only in 7th. Rokoistra is in 8th, and Mark Lang is in 9th. These are the 9 cars still running. As let's focus on this new livery for the race leader, certainly enjoying another fantastic day at the racetrack and asserting his dominance once again in this championship.
Absolutely, and I think, from what we've seen of Muhammad Alif all season long, he's been very dominant in the car, gets it set up nicely, and it's worked extremely well for him on track. He's got a couple of lap cars up ahead of him now in the form of, who is that, Mark Winner and Roy Kroistra, so he might potentially get up and lap up to 7th spot, which is a great result for him. But yeah, to be able to transition from the GT last season to the Formula 3 car for this season, he's really been able to get on top of this and certainly paying him dividends. Working his way down into the final chicane now, so I think we will get one more lap as he crosses the line here, and one more chance for him to start putting a couple of laps on a few more competitors.
So here we go then. Race leader enjoying one more lap. But Morris in second, starting his final lap, and Gilles-Villeneuve doing the same as well. And same goes for Tai Kim. These three very close. Sadly, I don't think we're going to see a battle. We might have a battle here because Koistra is closing in on Winter. And these two guys have a long way to go because they will have to complete this lap and do another one. So certainly not the easiest run-in of them all. Not the quickest, so to speak. Even though, here comes the race leader. I don't think he will lap them. So they will have one more chance to fight.
Yeah, it'd be great to see these guys still go at it. If you're Roy, you may consider just backing off here and letting Muhammad come through on you. That way you can close out your night a little bit earlier. But given how close those two are up there, I dare say we will see this battle go on. But Muhammad Ali, for the final time tonight, down through the wall of champions, coming home to take a second race win tonight. Race 2 in extremely dominant fashion tonight for Legion Eracers. That's a fantastic run for him and should seal what will be the championship this time out. Matt Morris up on screen for Velocity Racing in second spot. Hasn't been an easy one for him. He's had a couple of issues along the way, and he'll come through now. The final chicane here gets the car through nicely, and that will be a second spot for Matt Morris. Yazrin Yali likewise just behind in third. Caught up in a couple of little issues and potentially could have got that podium slot. And fourth position tonight was Tai Kim. So after his earlier stop there and damage repair, able to come through. But Roy Kroistra, Mark Winters still going at it. This is the final lap for these guys to come around, and we'll hang with this battle because it's certainly the closest on track at the moment as they make their way up through to turn 10. Mark very, very defensive. And Roy actually getting a much better run on the exit there, carried a lot more speed, and this will be a drag race down here into turn 13. Potentially in Mark Winner's favour there, being on the inside, but we will keep an eye on it. Both drivers managing to negotiate the final corner there, and will come home 7th for Mark Winner and Roy Kroistra in 8th. So great run for those guys there. And with that being the conclusion of the race, we will pull up the final results and let you know where your favourite drivers have finished home tonight.
Yes, the results will come in just a second, and hopefully they should be on your screen right now.
All right, and taking the race win tonight was Muhammad Alif. That was 2 from 2. An extremely dominant display there from the Legion Racers driver. Matt Morris coming home in second. Yazrin Yali in third. Tai Kim, a night that could have been, especially race 1 and 2, finds himself in fourth for race 2. Ben Brook had a strong fight to come home fifth. Kevin Huang in sixth. Mark Winter in seventh with Roy Kroistra just behind him. The lap down cars tonight were Mark Lang and Im Jahook, and the unfortunate non-finisher tonight was Kim Jimin after his earlier incident there. The non-starters were Andrea Abdua and Julian Honor. So fantastic run for these guys here. Great to see what they were able to do in that. We will just hang around just to see if some of the guys do want to jump up for a final race interview of the season. But that being said, we must give a very big thank you to not only Mark Lang and the guys at SimRacing Asia, but also SIMMSA and Macau-China SimRacing for coming on board and helping support this series. Without them, certainly wouldn't be possible, and it's been great to have them on board for not only this championship season, but also last season in the GT cars as well.
Absolutely, and so what do we say? I mean, I think it's time to, to analyze what we've seen this season. I think it has been a nice change of pace, this switch to the open wheelers, and You know, after many seasons with the GT cars, putting these drivers in a bit of a new situation. It changed a bit what was the status quo of the various drivers. I think it was a very interesting way to change and shuffle things up.
Yeah, absolutely. I think, like I say, the GTs have been a real staple for the SimRacers Asia series. I've certainly run them in the past and had great success and enjoyed that category. But having a bit of a change from what we've seen in GT3, GTE to the open wheeler, unfortunately, may have dropped some of the participation levels a touch there, but provided some fantastic racing throughout all the competitors that have come through the series. So for the guys that have been able to adapt and change well, the likes of Muhammad Ali, Tai Kim got there in the back half of the section of the season, Yazrin Yali. Those guys were really able to come on strong with this car and just show just how good they could be. A couple of guys who we've traditionally seen well in GTs seemed to struggle a little bit. The likes of Kevin Huang, not quite able maybe to get the car to his liking there, and having come from that GT discipline, a very hard thing to do. But all in all, I think racing this season has been absolutely fantastic.
So sadly, it seems like we don't have any driver coming up for interview. So I think it's time to say goodnight. Thank you once again to everyone who followed us, to the sponsors, the drivers who made, and the organizers, of course, who make and made this series possible. Here is hoping to having more of SimRacers Asia coming up in the next few months here. And of course, coming up next on Apex Racing TV, like we said earlier, is going to be the Euro V8s later today at 18 GMT. Tomorrow, 10:45 GMT, you are going to see the Aussie Mixed and Fixed Development GT Series, and later on Sunday at 7:15 GMT, round 3 of 6 of the Apex Racing League British GT Championship. It will be live from Oulton Park. Then on Monday, it's basically the start of what I like to call Championship Week, because a lot of series will be running their final race of the season. BSR MX5 Mondays, they will have their season finale on Monday at 7:15 GMT. Not their final race of the season, but still worth following at 1:15 GMT. Sorry, 11:15 GMT. So basically coming into the next day for us in Europe will be Rikmotec. Then on Tuesday we are going to have the final race of the summer season of the MX5 Pro Series, VRS GT official series as well. And then on Wednesday, the media day for the Sim Racers World GT Series. That will be the new season that will start then next week on the Eracing Esports Network. We have another title to give out, and that is the BSRTC Pro Series final race ever with the Kia on Thursday at 7:15 GMT. You don't want to miss that. And then the final race of the season of the iRacing Le Mans Series Friday. That will be at 18 GMT. And then on Saturday, we are sadly off. Sunday back with the Aussie Mixed and Fixed and the British GT. And of course, how can we forget, Tuesday 10:45 GMT, the last race of the season for the IMSA Oceanic Strength of Field. That of course will be on the European Tuesday morning. So certainly a lot to look forward to, a lot of races that will be very important because it's the final rounds of many of the season, a couple of series starting as well. And so, yeah, it's going to be an exciting week 12 of action here on Apex Racing TV. Thank you very much to everyone that followed us, and I will leave you in the, once again, capable hands of Daniel to close out the broadcast.
Yeah, thank you, Marco. And look, to everyone who's come along throughout the season, checked out the videos and supported the category, thank you very much for your help. I know Mark Lang certainly would appreciate all that tonight. So on behalf of myself, Daniel Lee, Marco Bobaniera, also Scott Newton, unfortunately couldn't be here, and Wihar Chan, who has helped out throughout the championship. Thank you very much all for tuning in. I hope you've enjoyed the the Formula 3 action here on SimRacers Asia for this series, and we'll certainly look forward to hopefully catching you either on the next broadcast or the next championship for the SimRacers Asia series. So thank you very much and good night.